Every morning when your eyes open, the world is already testing you. You don't wake up into comfort, you wake up into a battlefield. Your mind will try to pull you back into weakness, your fears will whisper you're not enough, and the comfort of your bed will tempt you to quit before you even start. That's the moment you decide, am I going to run this day, or is this day going to run me? You must feed your mind with fire before the world feeds it with doubt. Tell yourself, first thing, who you are, what you're here for, and why nothing will break you. You are not just another face in the crowd, you are a force, you are a fighter, and you don't need permission to win. You need discipline, hunger, and the will to bleed for what you want. 9 things to tell yourself every single day. I am unstoppable. I am disciplined. I am in control of my emotions. I do not fear failure. I will not be outworked. I choose purpose over pleasure. I will turn pain into power. I am worthy of greatness, and above all, quitting is not in my blood. Say it until it's carved into your soul. Start every day with mental dominance over your emotions, because if you don't, your emotions will run you into the ground before the world even gets a chance. The moment you open your eyes, your brain is still half asleep, half lying, whispering excuses. 5 more minutes. You're tired. You deserve a break. That's not you talking. That's the weakest version of you, the one that wants to stay small, comfortable, invisible. You kill that version before it has a chance to breathe. You put your feet on the ground, not because you feel like it, but because you decided last night that nothing would stop you today. That's dominance. That's control. When you control your emotions, you control your actions. And when you control your actions, you control your life. Most people spend their mornings reacting, checking their phone, scrolling through other people's lives, letting random notifications dictate their mood. That's why they fail. You start with power, you start with intention, you set the tone before the world does. If you wake up anxious, you attack the day anyway. If you wake up tired, you push harder. If you wake up unmotivated, you still do the work. That's mental dominance. Acting based on your mission, not your mood. Your emotions are not a steering wheel. They're just noise. The mission is the driver. Weak people let a bad mood turn into a bad day, and a bad day turn into a wasted life. Warriors feel the same fear, the same doubt, the same frustration, but they refuse to hand over the keys. Dominance means you recognize the emotion, you acknowledge it, and then you put it in the back seat where it belongs. Every challenge you face will try to trigger you. People will test your patience. Life will throw obstacles, and your own mind will try to convince you to quit. That's why mornings are everything. If you start in control, you stay in control. But if you let your emotions dictate your first hour, the rest of the day will own you. This isn't about pretending to be a robot. It's about understanding that feelings are temporary, but consequences are permanent. The workout you skip because you don't feel like it will echo in your body months from now. The opportunity you miss because you were too tired will haunt you years from now. Dominating your emotions is a skill. You train it daily. You don't wait until life gets easy. You build strength while it's hard. You wake up, you remind yourself of your mission, and you move before your feelings catch up. Because the truth is, emotions follow action, not the other way around. Act with discipline first, and the pride, confidence, and motivation will come later. Every day you dominate your emotions, you sharpen your mind, you harden your will, and you move one step closer to becoming unstoppable. Never negotiate with weakness. Kill it instantly. Because the moment you start debating with it, you've already lost ground. Weakness doesn't shout, it whispers. It shows up in soft, reasonable sounding thoughts. You can do it tomorrow. You've done enough for today. One little break won't hurt. That's how it survives. It disguises itself as kindness, as logic, as self-care. But make no mistake, weakness has one mission, to keep you exactly where you are. And if you start having a conversation with it, you give it oxygen. You can't reason with it. You can't compromise with it. You crush it the moment it appears. The danger is that weakness always arrives at the perfect time. When you're tired, when you're frustrated, when things aren't going your way, it knows your pressure points. It knows how to sell you on comfort. That's why you must be ruthless. The second the thought comes, skip the workout, sleep in, procrastinate. You don't debate, you act in the opposite direction. You train yourself to respond with aggression, not hesitation. Hesitation is the breeding ground for excuses, and excuses are the foundation of mediocrity. Think of weakness like a thief in your house. Would you sit down and discuss terms? No. You'd throw it out before it could take anything valuable. That's exactly how you treat the urge to quit, the temptation to take the easy road. You slam the door on it immediately. Every time you let weakness live for even a minute, it grows stronger. It plants seeds of doubt that will sprout tomorrow, next week, next year. But every time you kill it instantly, you send a clear message to yourself. I am not someone who negotiates with my lower self. Weakness thrives on small victories. It doesn't need to make you quit entirely. It just needs to make you slow down, take one day off, cut one corner. But those small lapses add up until your entire standard collapses. That's why you respond with zero tolerance. Even if you're exhausted, even if you're beaten down, you take one more step. You do one more rep. You push for 5 more minutes. It's not about the physical result. It's about telling your mind, I decide what happens here. Killing weakness instantly builds an identity that fear can't touch. It turns you into someone who moves without hesitation, someone who takes action before the mind can interfere. And over time, you stop even hearing that voice of weakness because it learns it has no power over you. This is the difference between the average and the elite. The average man negotiates. He bargains with his bad habits. He schedules his success around his moods. The elite man destroys weakness before it can speak twice. When you live like that, life stops being a series of battles with yourself and becomes a straight march toward victory. Purpose must outweigh comfort at all times because comfort is the silent killer of ambition. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it robs you of the life you could have lived. It's the soft pillow that keeps you from chasing the sunrise, the warm couch that convinces you to skip the work, the easy choice that hides the truth you're avoiding the grind that would make you great. Comfort whispers, stay here, you've done enough. But purpose roars, move now, there's more to do. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't the ones who feel like working every day. They're the ones whose mission is too big to be delayed by a little discomfort. When you put purpose above comfort, you live by decisions, not feelings. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to move toward your goal. The weather doesn't matter. Your mood doesn't matter. Whether you're tired, busy, or stressed, you do what the mission requires. That's how warriors are made, by choosing action over ease, over and over, until it's automatic. Comfort might give you a good day, but purpose will give you a good life. Your purpose should be so clear, so deeply rooted in who you are, that nothing can distract you from it. When you know why you're doing something, you can endure almost anyhow. Comfort tries to seduce you with instant gratification, but purpose plays the long game. It demands sacrifice now for rewards later. That sacrifice might be early mornings, late nights, long hours of relentless work and constant self-discipline, but it's the only currency that buys greatness. The truth is, comfort is never neutral. Every time you choose comfort, you move one step away from your purpose. You start teaching yourself that feelings get to decide your future, and once that habit forms, it's hard to break. But when you consistently choose purpose, you become dangerous, in the best way, because nothing can stop someone who acts regardless of how they feel. Think about it. Comfort is what keeps people dreaming instead of doing. It's the reason so many talk about what they'll achieve someday, while years pass without progress. Purpose is the exact opposite. It demands urgency. It says, if not now, when? If not you, who? The man who lives for comfort waits. The man who lives for purpose moves. You will have days when your body aches, your mind is tired, and your motivation is gone. That's when the choice matters most. That's when you remind yourself that comfort won't build your dream. Only relentless commitment to your purpose will. And when you live that way, the rewards hit harder, the victories taste sweeter, and you walk through life knowing you never let comfort steal your destiny. Purpose wins, always. Work ethic is the currency of champions because in the end, talent fades, luck runs out, and opportunities only matter if you're prepared to seize them. You can have all the potential in the world, but without work ethic, it's just a nice story you tell yourself before you go to bed. Champions are not made when the lights are bright and the crowd is cheering. They are forged in the quiet hours when nobody is watching, when the only thing keeping them going is the voice inside that says, "Do more." Work ethic is what separates the ones who talk from the ones who deliver, the dreamers from the doers. Every rep, every late night, every early morning is an investment. That's why it's currency. It buys you skills, resilience, and the right to stand on the stage when others have quit. You can't fake work ethic. You can't outsource it. You either put in the hours or you don't, and those hours never lie. They show up in your results. Champions understand this. They're obsessed with squeezing every drop of value out of their day, not because they feel like it every time, but because they know consistency compounds. The problem with most people is they want championship rewards with amateur effort. They expect greatness to arrive without paying the price, but work ethic is the price. It's the toll you pay daily to cross into the land of elite performance. It means doing the work when it's boring, when it's exhausting, when it's thankless. It's grinding in the shadows so that when the spotlight finally finds you, you're ready. Work ethic also builds a mental edge that talent alone can't touch. When you know you've outworked everyone in the room, you walk in with unshakable confidence. You're not guessing if you deserve to win. You've already paid for it in advance. That's why champions can stay calm under pressure. They know their preparation has already created the outcome, and here's the truth. Work ethic isn't just about doing more, it's about doing better. It's about focusing, learning, adapting, and never being satisfied with good enough. Champions are relentless in pursuit of improvement because they know complacency is the beginning of decline. They're not counting the hours, they're counting the growth. This is why work ethic is the ultimate currency. It always holds its value. It doesn't crash when trends change. It doesn't disappear when the economy shifts, and it can't be taken from you. Every bit of effort you invest becomes a part of you, making you sharper, tougher, and more prepared than your competition. In the end, the world rewards the ones who work while others rest, who push while others quit. That's the law of champions. You earn your place with sweat, discipline, and an unbreakable work ethic. Everything else is just noise. Failure is fuel, not defeat, because every time you fall short, you are handed the raw material to become stronger, sharper, and more dangerous than you were before. Most people treat failure like a stop sign. They hit a wall, feel the sting, and decide it's over. But champions see failure as a signal, a flashing arrow pointing toward the exact areas they need to improve. Failure is the truth stripped of excuses. It exposes you, yes, but it also gives you the blueprint to rebuild better. You don't hide from it, you harvest it. The pain of failure is pure energy. It can crush you if you dwell on it, or it can light a fire under you if you harness it. The sting you feel when you lose is proof that you care, proof that you're in the fight. That emotion, that frustration, is powerful if you redirect it into relentless action. Every great success story has a chapter filled with failure, but the difference between the ones who rise and the ones who stay down is simple. The winners refuse to label it as the end. They treat it as fuel for the next round. Failure forces growth. It strips away illusions and reveals reality in its harshest form. You find out where you're weak, where you're unprepared, and where you got comfortable. That's a gift, because once you see the flaws, you can fix them. People who avoid failure also avoid progress. They stay in their safe zone, repeating the same easy moves, never risking enough to discover their real potential. Champions, on the other hand, chase situations where failure is possible because they know that's where the biggest growth lies. You can't sharpen a blade without friction, and you can't sharpen your mind without challenge. Failure is that friction. Every loss, every setback, every embarrassing mistake is a grindstone. If you keep going, you come out sharper than before. If you quit, you stay dull forever. And here's the thing, failure doesn't just teach you skills. It teaches you resilience. You learn that you can take a hit, keep moving, and fight back stronger. That's a dangerous kind of confidence because once you know failure can't break you, you stop fearing it. Without that fear, you move faster, take bigger risks, and open doors that the timid will never see. So when failure shows up, don't shrink from it, study it, absorb it, let it burn into your memory so you never repeat the same mistakes. Then, get back up and attack harder. That's how you turn failure into momentum. In the hands of a quitter, failure is the end. In the hands of a warrior, failure is rocket fuel. The choice is yours, burn out or burn brighter. At the end of every day, it's simple. You either moved closer to the person you're meant to be, or you drifted further away. Life is not waiting for you. The clock doesn't care about your feelings, and the world will not pause while you figure yourself out. You have one shot, and every sunrise is a chance to either waste it or dominate it. Tell yourself the truth, because deep down you already know if you gave everything or if you let weakness win. Greatness isn't built in comfort. It's built in the moments when no one's clapping, when no one's watching, when the only thing pushing you forward is your own standard. If you demand more of yourself every single day, if you refuse to negotiate with your excuses, and if you use every failure as fuel, there is nothing life can throw at you that you can't conquer. The choice is always yours, to rise or to rot. So stand up tomorrow with fire in your chest, discipline in your actions, and purpose in your soul. Make every day a war against your lesser self, and one day you'll look back and realize you didn't just survive, you became unstoppable.